Hello, everyone. I'm Chester44, also known as Fly, and welcome to this Let's Play of Citizen Sleeper. Last episode, we went to the bunker for Junie and managed to get it completed. With that taken care of, things are going much better. Next step will be to go to Wellspring in order to take care of things there. But first things first, I can use these dice in order to get some more money, because why not? It's the best use of it. And we'll use that money in order to refuel. And once refueled, we'll move on elsewhere. There we go. And fill up on... You know what? I'm going to let one day go by. See if you can source some supplies. That would be useful. Because if that can save us some money, that'll be nice. Well, you managed to get one bit of supplies, so that's something at least. Alright, let's use the rest of these to continue debugging. And then we'll spend all this money we're getting. That works. Alright, and now in Senna's Rest, go ahead and fill up on supplies. And then at the freighter, there we go. We're all full up. We're ready to move on. Let's make our way up to Wellspring. Let's see what's going on here, where all the water comes in. Serafin! The shout echoes through the ship, reaching you in the cockpit. You see the angle of Serafin's head change, but he does not respond otherwise. Did you hear that? Serafin sighs. Yes, I heard. He looks back at you. How about you go see what they want? They called you. I'm busy flying the ship. Serafin! You recognize the voice now. It's Bliss. Moments later, they come into the cockpit. Is no one listening? They look between the two of you. I guess that means one of you is guilty. Come on, you need to see this. You follow the irritated Bliss through the ship, down into the cramped storage units tucked between the main ship and the hull. As you enter, you are greeted by total chaos. Amber globs of liquid ration float in the air and cling to the walls, while chunks of dried food spin slowly, breaking into crumbs. See? Someone opened up one of the supply crates and left it like this. They point to a crate in the storage netting with the lid pushed open. You look at the mess spilling out from the crate. Who could have done this? Inspect the remains. Neutral outcome. You take a moment to pick through the food and find a torn open pouch of liquid rations. You turn it in the light and see a set of evenly spaced gashes at the edge. Looking at the chaos, it's hard to imagine a person doing this, especially one of your crew. Bliss puffs out their cheeks. I need a break from this ship. Help me tidy this up. You spend the rest of the journey packing the crate away and disposing of the spoiled supplies. But as you do, you can't help but wonder what actually happened here. When you're finished, you take one last look around the storage bay. As you gaze around the now cleared space, you have the same feeling of being observed by unseen eyes as you felt in the tunnels of Holmes Rock. As he brings the ship into Wellspring's docking ring, you notice a rare tension in Serafin's piloting. He jerks the stick a little too hard while the docking bridge extends and a proximity alarm goes off. He curses under his breath. Relax, it'll be okay. I've docked this ship 100 times, Sleeper. He keeps his eyes on the monitors. I am relaxed. That's not what I mean. Serafin doesn't respond, but you see him grip the rig's controls a little tighter. As the ship stops, the docking bridge connected, you lean forward and look out of the cockpit windows, trying to get a good view of the icy surface of Wellspring below. The harsh, gleaming ice gives way to the steep sides of the cut, the asteroid's one city. It glows and steams with warmth, and peering down into it, you cannot see the bottom. Beyond, along the horizon, you see the terraces of the pit head, where the current extraction effort must be taking place. Serafin runs the shutdown sequence and unclips from his seat. He turns back to you, a flinty look in his eye. I'm going to head down into the cut. I've got a few leads to follow up on. You get the sense he isn't asking for permission. Let me help. You can check out the city if you want, but I'm not following along, Sleeper. This is my trail to follow. Before you can respond, he pushes past and glides out of the cockpit. You turn and watch as he pushes past Bliss into the doorway. I missed something? Bliss shoots you a look. He seems even more irritable than usual. He's looking for his sister. Bliss raises an eyebrow. Family trouble? That'll explain the irritation levels. I would recommend... They zip up their jacket. We go after him, before he pushes past someone that pushes back. Agreed. See you down there. At least Lane's unlikely to come out here to pick a fight with the Lodix Syndicate. Bliss shrugs. They turn and head towards the airlock, whistling softly as they do. Yu Jin comes out of a side door as Bliss passes. He stretches and squints at you. Permission to find a bar down there? Just joking. I know I don't need to ask. He winks and follows Bliss. I'll wait with the ship. Junie's voice echoes through the thin interior wall of the corridor. I've got archiving to catch up on. There's nothing older than 1,000 cycles on that snowball anyway. Wellspring, the base of the Lodix Syndicate. As you look out across its icy surface, you remember Malik, the captain whose ship you saved, and for whom you surveyed the ice asteroid. You also remember how he promised to repay you for your actions should you ever cross paths again. Perhaps Wellspring is a good place for you to make that happen. After all, if Serafin's sister is here, surely the Lodix Syndicate would be the best place to find her. So, okay, we got one location, the Wellspring Pithead. There's nowhere else we can act... Oh no, wait! The Wellspring Cut. I guess we should probably start with the cut. Let's start there. Dirty, wet, and thriving, the cut is a layered industrial city that is as intimidating as its inhabitants. We can act like a local. The cut is filled with Lodic workers, which makes for a brash and bold atmosphere. You'll need to be the same if you want to explore. Or hack Lodic comms. Sure, you could wander, but the Lodix Syndicate runs this place. Surely you can learn everything you need to know by tuning into their chatter. Oh, that's nice. Use up another 6. You have a good sense of which passages to wander and which to avoid in the steaming vertical city. Amazing to think this place supplies most of the belt's water. Bliss looks out across the cutwater at the workers in their distinctive yellow gear. No wonder the Syndicate runs it like a corporation. You look at those gathered in the low-ceiling bar, gathered around cushioned couches and low magnetic tables, their voices bouncing off the metal walls. All of them wear Lodic clothing, a mark of their status as contractors for the belt's most powerful syndicate. At the far side of the bar, you spot Eugene perched at a magnetic table with a bunch of miners. He appears to be playing some kind of local dice game, although given the amount of alcohol involved, it's hard to tell if gambling or drinking is the focus. You look back to Bliss, who is watching another group, quietly discussing something serious in the opposite corner. Lodic gets the job done, I guess. Bliss turns back to the bar and sips their drink through its metal straw. Well, that's the thing. I've been looking around Chasm Row, searching out components in the markets. Down there, people don't seem to be so happy. Bliss meets your eye. There's a lot of talk of contracts. It seems Lodic's been locking down its workers, giving the war in the inner system as an excuse. They play with their metal straw, swirling the orbs of liquid in their sealed glass. The pressure is building, Sleeper. We shouldn't hang around here much longer. The problem is we have no pilot. Well, it sounds like I'm not the only outsider who's been hanging out in Chasm Row. I heard someone complaining about a rude young man asking too many questions. Bliss smiles. Who else could that be? That's the place to start if you want to find our boy. They said he was asking about the rhyme market, but I have no idea what that is. Bliss looks out across the bar. Definitely a subject for locals, though. I'll head there now. I'll finish my drink. Let me know how it goes. You leave the cutwater, shouldering your way through a crowd of boisterous contractors. There is a conspiratorial mood to the conversations now that Bliss has mentioned it. You wonder what all the talk is about. You hear a bellowing laugh from Yu-Jin as you slip out of the door. Better leave him to it. You feel the sudden cold as you leave the steaming bar and enter one of the icy passages cut into the asteroid itself. All this water in the hands of a single syndicate. If something goes wrong here, the belt will die of thirst long before the war reaches it. You turn up the collar of your jacket against the cold and head for Chasm Row. So we got 3 locations. We've got the Cutwater. The readily available water means Wellspring is rammed with hydroponics. Cutwater serves slow-cooked tomato and pepper stews. And the Cutwater is a boisterous workers' bar filled with miners fresh from the pithead. They always need staff to fill in for those on shift. A way to get money. Lodic Depot. Here we can buy fuel. For very cheap. Wow. And most of the syndicate workers are at the pithead, so the supply depot offers shifts to passing spacers who want the extra cryo. Not going to be able to do that. And Chasm Row. Here we can fill supplies and find the Rhyme Market. Bliss said Serafin was hunting for the Rhyme Market. Whatever it is, you'll need to get to know the area and its hidden ways to find it. Serafin was apparently asking about the Rhyme Market, whatever that is. Find it and you'll find your pilot. We'll check later, because I also want to look in the Wellspring pit. Oh. With a Lodic pass, like any of the workers or syndicate members carry, you should be able to gain access. Ah, so I'm not going to be able to go in there. Not yet, anyway. Well, we can at least look in Chasm Row. Something about the flow of people and goods is wrong here. More people enter than leave. Boxes disappear down alleys. You're close. You pay a street hawker to guide you to the entrance, but they lose you in an alley. An old trick. Same thing. Well, we can go ahead and have them source supplies. We'll get more fuel later on when we're ready to leave. Not exactly the best rolls, but we did get the supplies we need. So next chance, we'll scavenge fuel if need be. Let's try this. A dark, corroded door lies in front of you. The markings on it are right. This is the place. The markets of Chasm Row have become familiar in the past cycles. Their steaming orange-lit depths, the persistent condensation on each unit's windows, the gleam of the amber workers' suits, each contributing to the particular atmosphere of this buried city. But among this, you have noticed other details too. The freelance crews on the hunt for illicit tech, the conversing workers who drop to a whisper when you pass, the light flickering up from through floor grates, suggesting even deeper layers. These are the details you have followed to the Rhyme Market, a place discussed in hushed tones in dimly lit rooms. And as you drift towards what you know to be one of its entrances, the door bursts open in front of you. A large, dark bundle glides out of the door and impacts the metal wall of the passage with an echoing bang. But your eyes are drawn by the imposing figure that hovers in the doorway, bracing himself on the frame. "Stay out of the Rhyme Market, rat!" The man sends an orb of spit spinning after the bundle. The bundle unfolds and you suddenly recognize Serafin, winded but straightening up to go back for more. Stop, Serafin. Ah, shit. You hesitate, seeing the hard anger brewing in Serafin's eyes, and you reach him a moment too late. He catches you as he kicks off from the wall with a swinging fist, sending you reeling back while he smashes into the man. The two tumble in a flurry of blows, slamming into the door frame, until the man gets his legs between him and Serafin and kicks him away into the wall. Serafin hits hard and floats away, a few crimson bubbles of blood drifting from his bust lip. Go to Serafin. You glide over to Serafin as he shakes himself awake. You put yourself between him and the figure. "Know when you are beaten, rat!" the man calls out. "It's time to go home and lick your wounds." Serafin exhales in frustration, his anger fading, replaced by the stinging pain of his injuries. You watch a perfectly round blob of blood form at the bottom of his nose. Want to explain what's happening? "For the record," the man folds his arms, "this one started it." He looks between the two of you. Snooping around our meeting like a rat. You see his sharp eyes recalculating the situation since your arrival. I wasn't snooping, I'm looking for someone. If you'd taken a minute to talk to me before throwing a punch, maybe you would have got that. The man scratches at his beard, squinting at Serafin. Say I believe you. What were you doing at the meeting then? Missing persons ain't our business. All I heard is this is where the Lodic contractors meet. I don't like you hearing that, not at all, and I'm going to need to ask you who told you that later. But yeah, this is where the contractors meet, as if that's anything to you. The person I'm looking for is a contractor. Serafin's frustration rises again. She uses the cover name Luz. Please. I think she might be my sister. Something changes in the man's stance. He holds up a massive hand to silence Serafin and looks down the passage in both directions. Not here. Get in. As you both enter, he reaches past you and slams the metal door behind, spinning the locking wheel with one hand. I'm Kirk. He grunts, pointing at himself with a thick thumb. Contractors are my concern, but if Lodic catch us discussing contacts out there... He shakes his head. He turns and leads you down the passage. You pass an open door and you glance inside to see a group gathered in a circle, all of them in workers' clothes. They're speaking in hushed voices. One of them exchanges a nod with Kirk. Let's not interrupt the meeting anymore, shall we? He glares playfully at Serafin, who remains silent. Kirk leads you to the side of a massive vertical metal pipe with a rough hole cut in the side. He beckons you both inside. You descend through the pipe in silence and darkness. Suddenly, you come out through the ceiling of a wide and low hall. As far as you can see, crooked stalls and makeshift shelters dot the grilled floor, lit by scavenged lanterns and light strips. Steam drifts up through the grates, concealing the room so that you cannot see the walls. Welcome to the Rhyme Market. Kirk gestures a thick hand at the ramshackle interior. Lodic don't know about this place. Let's get a drink. He leads you off to a nearby stall with a set of improvised stools welded to the floor in front. He hooks his legs onto one, and you and Serafin follow suit. He holds up 3 fingers to the stall's owner, and a drink in a straw-pierced jacket is handed to each of you. Serafin looks skeptically at the drink. We friends now or something? Look, I'm not going to apologize for putting you on your arse. That's on you. But like I said, I represent the contractors. And if someone is part of the family, well, then they deserve to be heard out, at least. You know who we're looking for. Luz, he said? I know a Luz, sure. Describe her. Kirk leans back on his stool. I'm not giving you anything more until you prove she's your sister. Serafin closes her eyes. Dark hair, used to wear it long and messy. Bright eyes, broad shoulders. You see a little twitch around his eyes as he recalls. Tough but kind. Tattoos, nervous laugh. He opens his eyes and glares at Kirk. That enough? Yeah, that's her. You feel something jump in Serafin, an almost imperceptible tension rising. It's her, his sister. Luz, Kirk speaks slowly, drinking between, or whatever her real name is one of the contractors here. She's part of the most recent contracts Lodic registered. That means... Just tell me where she is, Serafin demands, his impatience getting the better of him. As I was saying... Kirk gives Serafin a pointed look. Those new contractors are restricted to the pit head. In fact, that is what we were discussing when you interrupted our meeting. Serafin looks away in frustration but holds his tongue. Since the war, the Lodic Syndicate has been trying to lock down Wellspring. They went from a loose association of mining groups to an autocracy and started enforcing contracts with some seriously overreaching terms. Your sister? She's on one of those contracts. Lodic are acting like they own her and the others because, according to their contracts, they do. Which is exactly what we want to do something about. This cycle, he forcefully taps the bar with a finger, we are voting on strike action and a full blockade of Flotsam. We will bring the Syndicate to the table to... Serafin knocks his drink away and kicks off from the table, disappearing into the market. Go after him. You catch up with Serafin in the bustle of the Rhyme Market among the steam and crowds. I can't have been the only one who saw his pitch coming a mile off. Serafin is bristling with anger. What kind of idiots does he think we are? Is that what this is about? This is about getting my sister out of whatever mess she's gotten into. Serafin starts to push through the crowd towards the exit tunnel. We need to speak to Lodic. Forget these clowns. He shoves his way forward. We don't need to get tied up in this. We just need to get her out. Serafin forges on ahead and you get caught in the crowd behind him. As he disappears from view, a heavy hand falls on your back. I want to help you, Sleeper. Kirk's bright eyes meet yours. The Syndicate will do nothing for him or for you. Trust me. But I need your help in return. I want to help. Good. I knew you would. Kirk places a plastic pass card into your hand. It glints with the mark of the Lodic Syndicate, a blurry ID photo laminated into its transparent interior. This will get you into the pithead. You can see for yourself what's happening there. Don't follow your friend to Lodic. Go to the pithead. Find Luz yourself. He meets your eye. When you do, come back to me, and we can discuss how to free her and everyone else like her. If you go to Lodic, if you meet with them, I can't help you. He releases your forearm and drifts back into the crowd, disappearing into the steam and darkness. You float there for a moment, buffeted by passing people, clutching onto the Lodic pass, trying to decide what to do next. So that's the Rhyme Market. The scrap components are bundled up in nets, most of them corroded beyond use, but with a careful eye, some good ones can be picked out. So if we need raw scrap, we can get it. And we can buy rare components, which is nice. That's Chasm Row, which we can get supplies in. Cutwater, Lodic Depot. Lodic Operations. Serafin wants to meet with the Syndicate bosses to negotiate his sister's release. He needs your help. Getting a meeting with the higher-ranking members of the Lodic Syndicate is a challenge, but you aren't giving up. Or Wellspring Pithead. Well, we have the Lodic Pass. The supervisor waves you through, barely looking at the pass. You're in. Well, we have the Pithead Canteen. Using your pass, you can sneak into the canteen and get some free food, but you better be careful. Your Lodic pass isn't actually yours, and if they find out that you won't you won't be able to eat here anymore. Noted. And the Wellspring shaft. The mine is a vast space filled with workers, but with patience and care you can find Serafin's sister, you know it. The best way to find Luz will be to infiltrate the workers and gain access to the deep part of the mines, or the shaft is a constant flow of contractors, but you are determined to find Luz amongst all these faces. May as well do a bit of Intuit. That was no good. Alright, and I'm gonna use the 1 in order to try and get rid of this, this stress. Seems like a good idea to me. Hey, it worked out. And we can rest for a cycle. There we go. We got some good rolls there. Okay. When was the last time this saved? 14 seconds. You know what? I think I'm going to end this episode here. Next episode, we'll see if we can find Luz up there. Ooh, we got a lot of fuel from that. But yeah, next episode, we'll see if we can find Luz. That'll be in the next episode. So, until then, I am Chester44. I'll say names fly. This has been a Let's Play of Citizen Sleeper, and I shall see you all next time.